Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and those of us who like to watch the world burn one high-explosive shell at a time, to another thrilling episode of What the Hell is Dadbod Defender Doing? Today, we find ourselves on Fjords, a map so picturesque it belongs in a travel brochure. If that brochure included a footnote about the high likelihood of spontaneous explosions. Our hero, Dadbod Defender, a man whose tactical genius is only rivaled by his ability to select the one rock that wasn't meant for cover, has entered battle in the GW Panther, the artillery piece best known for its ability to exist and little else. As the countdown timer ticks away, the plan is simple. Find a bush, sit in it, and contemplate life choices. But as we'll soon discover, sometimes the best laid plans go out the window faster than a light tank in a gravity experiment. There will be missed shots, regret, a dangerous amount of optimism, and just enough success to make this a cautionary tale rather than a complete failure. Can an SPG truly change the course of a battle? Probably not. But can an SPG player accidentally stumble into glory? Oh, absolutely. Click on red things, question every decision, and hold on to your sanity. This is going to be a ride. Ah yes, the bush. Not just any bush, but the H9 bush of destiny, nestled at the back of the map where only the truly bold or deeply allergic to frontline combat dare to tread. Our first contestant in the artillery games is the T-71 CMD, a light tank that moves like it's late for an important meeting. We lock in, we breathe, we click, and the shell scrapes the paint. A near miss so close that the tank commander is now filing an insurance claim. It's not damage, but we'll take emotional scarring as a win. Enter the Sture Emil, a German tank destroyer that's so allergic to armor it might as well be labeled fragile, handle with care. For reasons unknown, perhaps an existential crisis, perhaps sheer optimism, the Emil has parked itself in the middle of the field. A whopping 222 damage. Yes, 222 points of justice and fear. The Sture Emil is now slightly inconvenienced. And then, someone with an actual gun finishes the job. But do we care? No. Because we assisted. We participated. We lightly peppered our enemies with an HE sprinkle of despair. The bush has accepted us. The artillery gods have nodded in approval, and we remain waiting for our next target. As the minutes tick by and the battle rages on elsewhere, we remain in our hallowed bush, doing what artillery does best, missing shots, blaming RNG, and reconsidering life choices. With every missed shot, we stare deep into the void, and the void stares back, whispering, "Maybe you should have picked a heavy tank. Maybe this is what you deserve for playing artillery. Maybe you should have studied law instead." But there is no going back. We are committed to this SPG life, for better or worse. Next shot, click, boom, another crater in the ground. At this point, we aren't playing World of Tanks. We're landscaping. Somewhere out there, a geologist is having the time of his life analyzing these impact zones. Since we have a solid 30 seconds between reloads, this is the perfect time to ponder one of life's greatest questions. What's for dinner? Leftovers? Boring but convenient. Takeout? Risky. The battle might end before the food arrives. Cooking? Too much effort. Just skipping dinner? No, that's quitter talk. And then the dreaded realization sets in. I could have started cooking by now and been done before my next reload. Then, like a beacon of light in the darkness, a new target appears. This is it. A chance at redemption. A chance to prove that SPG players contribute something other than frustration and team chat complaints. We line up the shot, we focus, we click. And the shell lands just behind the enemy. Well, at least we kept them on their toes. The cycle continues. At this point, we must ask ourselves, are we even playing a game? Or are we simply watching events unfold from a distance, while occasionally pressing a button to remind everyone we exist? And if we are in fact merely existing, then what does that make us? A gamer? A strategist? A philosopher? No, we are an eggplant. For those unfamiliar with the deep philosophical significance of the eggplant, allow me to explain. Much like an SPG, an eggplant spends most of its life in one place, motionless, waiting for something to happen. It has potential. In the right hands, an eggplant can be turned into something useful, a fine dish even. But left to its own devices, it's just sitting there, like us. An eggplant, much like artillery, is controversial. Some people love it, some people despise it, others just tolerate it for the memes. An eggplant will never be a steak. And let's face it, an SPG will never be a medium tank. We are what we are. Are we even gaming? That's the real question, isn't it? We're not fighting, we're observing. We're clicking buttons, sure, but is this gaming in the traditional sense? Or is this a slow-motion existential crisis wrapped in a World War II simulator? The heavies are brawling. The mediums are flanking. The lights are doing light tank things, which mostly involve dying spectacularly. And us? We're watching, clicking, waiting, slowly becoming one with the bush. If a game of World of Tanks lasts 15 minutes and we've spent 10 of them waiting for something to happen, is this truly gameplay? Or are we now simply observers of fate? But wait, what's this? A target? No? A chance at redemption? A lone tank wanders into our sights. It is time. This is the moment we've waited for. We line up. We click. And we scratch the paint for a whopping 38 points of damage. No, not 38, 31, but still. Surely that will have taught them a lesson. Back to contemplating vegetables. 10 minutes of zen-like patience, deep contemplation, and enough missed shots to make a stormtrooper blush. Then, an IS-22, backtracking like a teenager hiding contraband. We see it, we aim, we click. Boom. Direct hit. Frag secured. A moment of pure, unfiltered validation. For the first time all match, we are more than a spectator. We are a contributor, a dealer of destruction, a bringer of pain. Somewhere, a teammate actually types "nice shot," a phrase rarely bestowed upon artillery players. Somewhere else, an IS-22 commander stares at a black and white screen contemplating his sins. And just like that, we reload. Back to missing shots. With one glorious frag under our belt, Dadbod Defender does the unthinkable. We move. Yes, you heard that right. The WSD keys actually function on an SPG. Who knew? Certainly not 95% of artillery players. The decision is bold, reckless, possibly ill-advised, but we are done with merely existing. We roll forward, leaving behind H9, the sacred temple of static gameplay, and embark on a perilous journey to F8. Why? Because we can. Will this throw off our teammates? Yes. Will it confuse the enemy? Absolutely. Will we regret it immediately? Almost certainly. But this is a statement. An SPG that moves is an SPG that terrifies. And if nothing else, at least we're getting closer to the action. Which, now that we think about it, might not be a good thing. As Dadbod Defender completes the great migration from H9 to F8, something unexpected happens. New angles of fire. Yes, you read that correctly. By moving, an act considered heretical in SPG circles, we have unlocked an entirely new way to miss our shots. The enemy is now exposed in ways we never imagined. The map is alive with fresh targets. This is revolutionary. Does it improve our accuracy? No. Absolutely not. Do we still hit mostly dirt and distant trees? Of course. But does it feel like we're doing something special? Oh, you bet. Somewhere, an SPG player watching this quietly gasps. Somewhere else, a light tank driver gets nervous. We are artillery, and we have moved. Fueled by the sheer rush of discovering that movement actually matters, Dadbod Defender makes a highly questionable decision. He keeps moving. Not just a few meters. Not just a slight reposition. No, he rolls all the way to E7. For reasons known only to the darkest corners of his subconscious, Dadbod Defender has decided to do the unthinkable. Be an SPG that contributes to the late game. The mere concept of an artillery piece influencing the final moments of battle is so unheard of that somewhere, a dedicated SPG main drops their coffee in disbelief. Enemies expect the usual late-game scenario. One last scout hunt for the SPG, a helpless, immobile target waiting to be farmed, a quick, satisfying elimination. What they don't expect. A rogue artillery piece that has evolved beyond its programming. What happens next? Do we actually land meaningful shots? Do we break the enemy's spirits, or at least their expectations? Or do we simply become a more mobile disappointment? Only time will tell. With just over 4 minutes left, the battlefield is reduced to a high-stakes showdown. On our team, 4 actual tanks, battle-hardened, armed to the teeth, ready to seal the victory. 1 GW Panther, Dadbod Defender. Technically present, spiritually uncertain. On the enemy team, CS-53, a solid medium tank with enough speed and firepower to make life miserable. Progetto 46, a vicious, rapid-firing Italian assassin, famous for turning winning teams into defeat screens. Surely this can't go wrong. But for which side? One way or another, in 4 minutes, someone will be typing GG, either in celebration or in exhausted disbelief. Before we even finish questioning fate, the Progetto 46 mercilessly deletes our Barasque. Gone, erased, reduced to a cautionary tale, a tragedy. Absolutely. Surprising? Not in the slightest. But just as the enemy savors their victory, our British wheeled medium, aka the Saladin, steps up. Now, on paper, the Saladin is supposed to be fast. In reality, it moves with all the urgency of a pensioner late for bingo night. But it doesn't matter. Because somehow, against all odds, it lands the shot. The CS-53 is gone. Now we must ask, is our Saladin a tactical genius, a master of patience and precision, or just another man in a clown car, fumbling toward greatness? Either way, the match is now a 3v1. The Progetto 46 stands alone. And something tells us, this isn't over yet. 15 seconds, that's all it takes. One moment, the Saladin is basking in the afterglow of a well-earned frag. The next, gone, vaporized, sent to the great vehicle scrapyard in the sky. And just like that, we have our final showdown. The Progetto 46 now stands alone against a KV-3, otherwise known as the Tier 7 heavy tank people forgot was still in the game files. The Conceiver, the new British double-barreled heavy that sounds like it should be handing out philosophy lectures instead of destruction. Oh, and Dadbod Defender. Does this seem like an easy win? On paper, yes, but this is a Progetto 46, and this is World of Tanks. Anything can still go wrong, for either side. Turns out the only thing the Conceiver failed to conceive was an escape plan. And then, there were two. With the Conceiver reduced to a cautionary tale, only Dadbod Defender and the KV-3 remain to face the lone Progetto 46. But surely this is a done deal. A Progetto versus a Tier 7 heavy and an artillery piece with commitment issues. This should be a cleanup operation. Except it's not. Because as Dadbod Defender bravely advances to support his last remaining ally, the KV-3 is unceremoniously deleted. 1 second he's there. The next? Nothing but a smoking wreck and shattered dreams. Now it's just Dadbod Defender versus the Progetto 46. This is it. The final moment. An SPG in close-range combat. The Progetto reloads, ready to claim another victim. But before it can seal the deal, before it can mock artillery players everywhere, before it can secure the ultimate clutch, boom, Dadbod Defender lands the kill shot. An SPG, moving, aiming, fighting, winning. This isn't supposed to happen. SPGs don't do this. Not this level of raging aggressiveness. Teenagers who play them, sure. But the artillery itself? Absolutely not. And yet, here we are. Kills 2. Statistically, this should not have happened. Damage dealt 1,293, most of it accidental, but we take those. Shots fired 24, a generous interpretation of the word accuracy. Distance moved, more than any SPG player is emotionally prepared for. Enemies confused, all of them. If you made it this far, congratulations. You survived a 17-minute deep dive into SPG absurdity. So, if you enjoyed the chaos, appreciate aggressive artillery gameplay, have ever missed a shot and blamed RNG, then do the polite thing, hit like and subscribe. Because let's face it, if this ridiculous display of artillery brilliance doesn't deserve a follow, what does? Until next time, keep clicking, keep missing, and never ever trust a Progetto in a 1v3. Dadbod Defender out.